on the family that we helped last week. Always remember that prayer is not the last recourse. It's the first resource. It truly is. There is hardly a greater way that we can worship God and help His people as we can through prayer. And there's a passage that I always have found dear. It's in the book of Revelation, and I'm just going to read it. It's in chapter 8, verse 3. It says, "Another angel came and stood at the altar holding a golden censer, and much incense was given to him, so that he might add it to the prayers of all the saints on the golden altar, which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense with the prayers of the saints went up before God out of the angel's hand. Then the angel took the censer and filled it with fire, with the fire of the altar, and threw it to the earth. And there followed peals of thunder and sounds and flashes of lightning and earthquake." I can imagine, first century believers in a little house church. They're marginalized in society. They're persecuted. And if anyone had been peering kind of through the window and saw them all on their knees praying, they would have thought to themselves, what a pathetic, impotent, powerless group of people. What a waste of time. And yet we see that those weak saints sending up what I'm sure was weak prayers, we see how efficacious their praying actually was, because it returned to earth with the power of thunder and lightning and earthquake. And I think that's very important. I'm sure you're a lot like me. Sometimes I'm praying and I feel like there's a bronze ceiling, as the old saints used to say, above my head, that my prayers are just bouncing off and coming back. Or I'm praying and my mind is wandering in so many different ways that it should not. I wish I had more faith, and I wish that my prayers were stronger. But I can tell you this: our God is great, and our God is gracious, and He answers the prayers, even of weak saints like us. He answers weak praying like that which so often comes forth from someone like me. And so take heart, not just with regard to Afghanistan, but with regard to all that is going on around us, everything. Prayer is the answer. Get alone with God. Meditate on His Word, and then lift your petitions up to Him in prayer. Yes, petitions for nations and kings and all who are in authority, petitions for the church, but also petitions for family and for yourself. Sometimes with all the pressure, it feels like we're going to implode, doesn't it? Like we're just going to crush down to nothing. Well, I have found that in those situations, which in my life are all too frequent, it's prayer. It's trusting in God's promises and praying. Prayer is the most powerful arsenal